From inside the minds of the original champs, 2004, it's week 9, and yes, we are the Mug 07 Division Champions. That's right. Now, the University of Dynasty building is wondering one thing. We're all stumped. And it's not about things like how we're going to get our next win, or why our starting quarterback McNabb gets benched for Rex Grossman last week. Not a concern. It's more like who gets more frequent flyer miles, Capos or Randy Moss?
Wow.
Maybe that's why I'm 1-7. Oh. Okay, KMA. Record, me and him, 2-12. Ouch. We officially have less ratings than the last episode of Jersey Shore. Flanders, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm gonna feel bad for you if you lose to me because I'm like the league's hooker who hasn't paid up. I'm getting beat on pretty bad by everybody. I tell you, this is the week for the university, though. This is the one we've all been waiting for here. You know, Vic's back in the lineup. He's been at full practice all week long now, and you know, he was number 2 before he went out. So you know, we're expecting big things this weekend. Flanders, I can't pick on you too much because I know you're hurting from that record. Also, that the fact that you have a good chance of losing, because not only do I have Vic out there, I got a full chance of, I'm going to take full advantage of Mendenhall versus Cincy this weekend, and you know that's just going to be a train wreck for Cincy. So, Flounders, good luck to you, and you can kiss my ass. Let me bring out my guest, my first guest. Bucket Runners, the owner of the Bucket Runners. Yeah, that's right. 2005 Bucket Runners, my brother Alex. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Deuces.
Deuces. Well, welcome to the show.
Welcome, thank you.
Before we start, let me get you a
very happy to be here.
Official show beverage. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. So what's up? What you been doing this week?
You know, this and that. Yeah, movies. Went to see some movies.
What'd you see?
Supernatural 2.
Yeah.
Just as good as the first one.
You saw the first one?
I saw the first one in the theater.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah, I got answers.
Randy Moss has a lot of time off this week.
Lots of time off.
Did you see my movies?
You know, I thought I saw him.
Really?
But you know, they all look alike, so I don't know. Could have been him. I didn't ask. I don't know jack about football to say, hey, Randy Moss, I heard you lost your team again. Oh, sorry, that sounds inappropriate. So, you know, I didn't say anything.
Wow.
I just said, oh, that could be Randy Moss. Or that could just be some guy wearing a jersey. I don't know.
So, what's on your mind? What do you got?
Well, I did some research.
You did?
Yeah, because, you know, coming here to the show, a football show, I figured I'd learn a little bit about football.
Right.
So I have a couple of things.
Hell, you're a fantasy owner.
I'm a fantasy owner. That's true. That's true. Years ago, believe it or not, it was 2005. It wasn't that long ago. This is when? This was 2010. So 5 years ago was my first actual fantasy football league.
Now let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, to set the record straight, because all the owners and the fans and the world is watching, a lot of people said back in the day that I was running both teams.
Right.
Could you enlighten me?
In fact, I got the proof. I got the proof right here.
Hello.
All right. So that's about all I got to say about that.
So what's up?
So back to Randy Moss.
Yeah.
You know, I did, like I was saying, I did some research, and Randy Moss was my first target because, you know, he was in the headlines. So my first thing was, and some of the guys, Rob and Todd, you know, you remember the Randy Moss jokes from the trip to AC when we planned this whole football fantasy thing this year. I had a couple things.
You did?
Couple things. First is, what does Randy Moss have in common with the number 3?
What does Randy Moss have in common with the number 3?
I will tell you because I did some research. It
Tell
is
the world.
the number of teams he's played with this month.
True, very true. Very true.
Second,
Yeah.
referring to the Atlantic City trip for the fantasy football, we dubbed a certain young lady's name as Randy Moss. Coincidentally. So
it rhymes with Brody. Brody Elton.
Brody. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
So my next question about Randy Moss was, what does Randy Moss the real Randy Moss have in common with Randy Moss? The answer: the real Randy Moss goes down the field.
Right.
Randy Moss just goes down. And then,
maybe you'll hit the window.
I'm trying. I'm aiming. I got, I'm not the one to save the Dallas Cowboys with that aim. So, so the third thing about Randy Moss really isn't about Randy Moss. It's quite odd. It does have something to do with the Randy Moss jokes. And Rob, I'm sticking to my Star Wars trivia, so you're not going to get the answer to this. What does Darth Vader have in common with his right hand?
What does that?
Oh, weird, right? Neither one of them can use a cell phone in their right hand.
The cell phone joke.
Oh,
Right through the window. Right through the window.
You didn't even see that coming. So the headline, Calvin Johnson, this guy Calvin Johnson. I pull up the that's what I hear. The Post, New York Post. It's a quality newspaper, right there. And I see this little, Decepticon symbol. Decepticons are from the Transformers, if anybody is not aware of that. And it says, Grievous braces for Megatron, page 72. Here, I'll even
Take a look.
right there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, Megatron? That's a cartoon character.
Right.
So I'm like, I gotta go to page 72. Turn to page 72. Apparently, Calvin Johnson is parading around the NFL as Megatron.
He is.
That's what they say. That's what. Now, this is what gets me.
What gets you?
There's a kingdom of fans out there for the Transformers. That don't even know a couple of things. One, what football is. Two, how to play football. Three, what to do with a girl. Four, so. Got it with that one. Woo! So 4, I don't even know where 4 was going. So I was, and they get picked on for whatever. Now, being nerds, being gay nerds, I don't know what the hell they get picked on for. Now, here's what I think. I wear my Van Slyke jersey. This is the Van Slyke. I wear that sometimes. Sometimes if you don't see me in the jersey, sometimes I'm sporting the Decepticon shirt right there. See that? That's what Megatron wears.
There
now,
you go.
For lack of interest, I must apologize. I don't have a picture of the real Megatron to show you what he looks like. But this is how I know Calvin Johnson here is gay. How do I know he's gay? Because he parades around the NFL as Megatron.
Not happy with Calvin Johnson, are you?
No, in fact, I've never even heard of Calvin Johnson until I picked up the paper this morning. No, this is not today's paper. This is yesterday's paper. Yeah, until I picked up the paper yesterday, I had no idea who Calvin Johnson was, and that's why he's gay.